So yeah, welcome to the good, the bad, and the garbage new show, part of the Oscar Reel Movie channel. As always, if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a like. Just like it. Just click the button, click like right now. Do it. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, just give us a quick 5-star rating. Leave us a review. All that helps us out tremendously. So please do that.
You're not recording yet, are you?
It started right away.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But whatever.
I've never opened up the app before, so it was asking me a bunch of questions. I was like, I don't know about that at all.
What's your middle name? What's your social security number?
Yeah.
That's a different app.
But yeah, here we are. We did it. We're a month into trying to watch this movie.
Well, I watched it the week we talked about
You did.
it.
Quinn, kudos.
I was very excited.
You watched it immediately, and then I was gonna watch it pretty quick, but then I was like, oh, Star Wars Day is coming up, so let's do the fucking worst thing in the world and watch the holiday special.
Oh god.
And I didn't want that to be like your first or one of your few impressions of Star Wars, so I didn't want you to watch that.
Awful.
Is that bad?
It is the worst thing I've ever watched.
So yeah,
I wish I could erase it from my memory.
I had never seen it. I'd heard of it because it was the first thing that came out post the first movie. So like, imagine that. Like I said this to Quinn on the recording, which obviously anyone can go back and listen to, but you see Star Wars and it's the biggest hit ever, and a year later you finally get more, and it's this piece of shit CBS like holiday special. Anyways, yeah, if you want to, but like I made a video on it. If you don't want to actually watch the movie but you want to see what we went through, I put it on YouTube, and I actually put like clips of the movie in it.
Feel free. You just gotta see how bad it is. Just look up clips, Bo. It's so.
So wait, it's not like a new, like this is old.
Yeah,
like,
it came out in 78.
78.
Oh, really? 78.
It was like, I thought this was like, didn't they just come out with something on maybe Netflix? I could be totally wrong. That's like a cartoon animated movie or something.
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff like that. But
I don't know.
I think what you're talking about, the Clone Wars on Disney Plus just finished their last season like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
that's probably
Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's Star Wars Disney Plus. That's actually good. But yeah, if you don't, like Quinn and I talked for like a half hour on it. So if you have a half hour to kill, or anyone has a half hour to kill, and it's bad. But so yeah, we took a detour with that. But here we are a month later. Bo, this was your idea, and I actually really liked this one with watching this movie, Drunken Master, or Legend of the Drunken Master, because I remember watching this as a kid, like pre-Rush Hour, all that stuff. Or maybe it was after that, but watching these like Rush Hour Jackie Chan movies, I remember watching a lot of these, and I remember Drunken Master, at least the one from 94, because a different one came out in 78, which today I put on the background while I worked.
Mm-hmm.
I like the one in the 90s better.
Is it a remake? Like a frame remake, or is
no? So it was initially intended to be a sequel, and you'll see it labeled as like The Legend of Drunken Master Part 2 or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's a reboot, basically. Okay. It isn't. He has the same character name, but it's basically a reboot. That's what it is. So yeah, I remember as a kid, probably like I thought him being drunk was a lot more of a thing.
Yeah. No, same. And it's funny because I like remember watching it, and then when I started watching it again, it was like I remember the exact moments when something was going to happen. I probably haven't seen it since I was, I don't know, definitely like below like preteen, like 12, 11, 10, whatever. And I like this is just an example. The anxiousness I remember as a kid when his father first like starts beating him in this backyard. And then he like explodes and smashes through the wine barrel. Like I remembered that coming up, and I remember like the anxiousness when I was a child of that happening. I was like, how is this like something that's so ingrained in my mind? Is this a random Jackie Chan movie that I watched like whatever it was 20 years ago?
Did you have issues with your dad growing up or something?
Yeah.
His dad's really aggressive.
I know.
Forced
I met him.
Alcohol.
Met him the one time, and yeah, he's the vibe I was definitely getting from him. But yeah, I like how it does that nice thing that I feel like a lot of movies do, where it's like, oh, you catch your kid smoking a cigarette, so you make them smoke a pack of cigarettes. So, oh, Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan, you got drunk and fought here, chugged this giant fucking vat of wine.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. We should do that. Yeah, for sure.
You said it yesterday, and I didn't actually read the text at first, but I wrote down, I was like, there's no way this dude should be this old and be like this disciplined by his parents. I looked up and Jackie Chan was like 40 when he was doing this movie. And
that's definitely
really.
Yeah, no, that's one of the notes. I know I said it in the chat, yesterday or whatever. But yeah, because this is a reboot, right, of the one from the 70s, and he plays the same character, he's like 10 years too old to play this character.
How old is he supposed to be in the movie?
Oh man, I want to say he was in his 20s in the first one from the late 70s.
It is a Chinese-made movie, so it's a different culture, different perspective. But probably still too old.
No, I totally agree with you. I'm telling you, like I was looking at the trivia on this, and here it is. Jackie Chan's character is supposed to be half the age the actor was at the time of filming. That's literally like IMDb.
I mean, Jackie Chan is ageless, so.
But he's ageless at the age of 40.
Yeah,
right?
He looked. I would have guessed maybe 30 at the most.
He looks the same now as he did when this movie was made, but that age isn't 20. He still looks 40 today.
Yeah, he looks great.
But yeah, like he's got a stepmom who looks younger than him, and his dad looks like he's the same age.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say the stepmom was by far the best character in that entire movie.
Yeah,
she was so funny.
This is definitely one of those movies where, okay, great action, which I will say, like great action in this movie, but then it's got those like 2 or 3 characters that are just there to be funny, right? Like the friend who gets hit in the face like the entire movie, like they throw a baseball and he gets hit in the face when he's sleeping, and then the mom who at one point to like protect Jackie Chan pretends to be pregnant, and then they never resolve that. She pretends to be pregnant the rest of the movie.
They keep bringing up, he keeps asking her about it the rest of the movie, and she's like, oh, he's fine.
The best part about her is when she first announces she's pregnant to Jackie's father, she then starts proceeding to jump and belly flop on the ground like she's trying to kill the child.
I don't think that's good for the baby.
Yeah, the movie was really outrageous in a lot of aspects.
Yeah, and I actually accidentally deleted my notes on this, so I actually have it playing in the background now, so I'm just going to randomly like pick and choose things that are going on. But I like how it opens on, because I totally forgot what the plot of this movie was, other than just, I know Jackie Chan gets drunk at least once or twice. I like how it opens with him, they're like tax evaders, they're just trying to not pay tax on what's the root, like ginseng. That's just how the plot of this movie starts, is they're just on this one thing trying to not pay taxes on, and then they get on the most crowded train I've ever seen, and their plan is to just find this one little package on this giant train. You know, Jackie Chan was a thinker back in the day, right?
I feel like the plot is not really necessary for the movie. It's more about the action scenes and the ridiculous comedic aspect.
No, I agree. I remember in most of these Jackie Chan movies that at least there was some giant drug lord that they were trying to stop. But in this one, I don't know. I think there's like a steel mill and there's like artifacts trying to be stolen. That whole thing was
the steel mill was random. I don't even know the reason for the steel mill.
I still this moment, I don't exactly know how all that stuff connects or adds up, but there's great action scene.
It was kind of hard to follow, like who, like the actual, like you could tell who was like necessarily a bad guy, but like at first it was the foreman that came out in the steel mill that like started telling the workers, and then he was like a total badass and beat up all these workers, like grabbing piping hot steel out of a kiln and swinging it around with his bare hands. I was like, oh, this
Get back
is
to work.
this is definitely
Good motivation.
And then it's like a white dude shows up who is like, dude, I don't even know what they say his name ever. He just exists. But then there's the other like Asian descent person that's above the older guy that's got all the kung fu kicks. And then it's like, which guy is like actually the leader here?
Yeah, no,
the suit guy.
That's
the suit guy.
The white guy? Was he the leader? Or is it the guy he fights at the end?
That's what I'm wondering.
I think the white guy's the leader.
Well, that guy never gets caught or fought.
Yeah, right.
He just got away then.
Yeah.
But he was the one commanding everybody, like, we need to get these artifacts back.
No,
they're trying to steal them from the Chinese. The white guy is definitely trying to steal them.
I mean, it is a movie about Chinese artifacts being stolen. I mean, the white guy is probably going to be the bad guy, right?
That makes sense.
It would make sense.
It's the same thing in Rush Hour. That's almost the same exact plot, right? Like, isn't that what happens? Artifacts.
Oh yeah, he does steal all the artifacts.
I forgot about that.
And then Tom Wilkinson, the only white guy in the movie, is the bad guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
It adds up. I get it. Like, as like U.S. like as Americans, where we don't have a cultured past like this, like I get it, but I didn't know. Like, he never gets caught. I just didn't get how that.
Yeah, I forgot all about him after like the talking scene.
Exactly. So like, I get like this movie is just the action's good, so who the fuck cares? Like, who cares how everything else adds up? But like, at one point in this movie, I was going, all right, who's the bad guy? What's the point of this steel mill? I love the scene that you point out, Bo, where like they're yelling at the people to get back to work. So what do? They take out like this hot iron,
beat them,
start beat people up and set them on fire. Like, yeah,
so motivated.
Get out of these people.
Yeah, it's like instantly lighting the guys on fire when he's whipping around with the steel. It's just like it's brushing their shirt, and there's all of a sudden like incinerating their shirts.
So Jackie just gets involved because the old switcheroo happens, right? So his ginseng gets taken by this old guy, and then he ends up with one of the artifacts. So whatever, he gets involved in it. But then I like the best scene, which is probably the scene we remember the most, is the only like the silly drunk fight.
The first one. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one. Which
mom is just throwing.
Yeah, the mom's just stealing bottles.
What a great stepmom. Jackie Chan is sitting there going, no, Dad's going to get pissed at me if I get drunk.
You drink more.
It's fine. Just drink more. Drink this. Drink it. I like the move. You break the top off, chug, smash it in their face. That was a great move.
That's the original.
Promoting the school. It'll be fine.
I like my favorite move was the spinning headbutt.
Oh yeah, just dive in and just.
I have no idea if that would actually work, right? Like, can you just push yourself hard enough into someone's chest for that to actually work? But like, whatever, it looks cool.
Vontez Perfect did it for a while. He was pretty good at it.
Or we need Myles Gareth. Jackie Chan just needs a helmet out there and just hit people over the head with a helmet.
It was funny though. Like, I think he did it sort of a couple other times. He always said down the hatch, but in the first drunk fight, he's like going through random names. I like wrote down to him like nursing a hangover, and he's laying on the ground.
Oh, the moves.
Like,
those like the names of the moves. Yeah.
The Drunken Crane.
Those are pretty good. I'll say, like, watching the old one from the 70s, I don't know, I barely get that. They say a couple of them, but the fight scenes in this movie are definitely a lot better. Like, Jackie Chan, I know we said before, I mean, he's like one of the greatest stunt or choreographers around, right? He actually was credited as being a choreographer on this movie. It's awesome.
Yeah, they said him and his like Stuntsman Club or whatever they call it, like, sounds like his entire company probably worked with was like credit. I saw that like when they were talking about the stunts bios, like one person, Jackie Chan, and then his like famed Stuntsman Crew Club or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what was on the banner when he was hung from that thing up
Oh
top.
yeah.
And he was bannering
Oh,
to
when he's naked?
Yeah.
To figure out what it said, but there was nothing, like I couldn't find any information on it.
Drunken fool.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that happened too. Did you guys have favorite fight scenes? Because I actually really like the one at the beginning when he's just fighting the old guy underneath the train. Like it wasn't a drunk fight, but that fight was really cool. Like just
Probably the one in the bar with the old guy, but later in the movie with the bar. That one was awesome.
That one was pretty cool.
I don't know, but I do actually. I think that one underneath the train was pretty like incredible. I did kind of like laugh kind of hard because the swords that they were using were like flipping in the wind. Yeah, it was like doesn't necessarily look like the most intimidating sword. Like they're not dealing with like serious weapons, but it was pretty impressive for them to both be like that choreographed underneath in that tight space and like. No matter what, even if you get hit with a plastic sword or a plastic spear, I'm sure it's not the most fun experience. I guess I didn't really pick like a favorite one, but that one, I kind of forgot about that because it happened so at the beginning and it wasn't like necessarily against like, I mean, it kind of was a main character, like came back later in the movie, but like at first I was like, oh, they're just trying to show Jackie Chan's a total badass, which we already assumed. And I thought that's what the whole point of that was like, hey, let's just get a fight scene in the first 10 minutes to make sure people know what this is going to be about.
Yeah, like just in your face, this is a fight movie. Like that's just what's going to happen. Because right, it happens in like first 5-10 minutes of the movie. It's crazy.
Yeah, but it was also hilarious too. I mean, I think it probably happens if I went back and watched every other Jackie Chan movie, like you almost have to force the fight. And I remember like when they first started fighting, I was like, what are they like, what is the point? Like all he did was they were both trying to steal something. They didn't even try to steal the same thing. And then they proceeded to get in a fight. And then I'm sitting there wondering, and then Jackie Chan, what did he say? He's like, oh, if you're not a traitor, why are we fighting? He's like, oh, you hit me. I was like, that's what this whole thing is about. I guess they at least tied the bow on at the end to figure out why it was happening, but I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, that's how I felt. I didn't even think of that at the beginning, you're right, but that's how I felt later on in the movie too. Even when so he goes through all this, but the final fight scene, which was pretty cool in the steel mill, it looked really cool, but it's what we talked about before. I'm like, why are we here? Like, what is happening? I don't know what's going on right now. It looks really cool, but I don't know what's going on.
It took a long time for me to figure out what was going on for the plot. Like you said, the fight scene happens right away. And you're like, wait a second, what were they talking about in line with taxes? And what was that box? What's with the ginseng? And then they get back to the house, and then there's the whole switcheroo, bait and switch. Let's confuse this guy while distracting him.
Yeah.
And then try and find the ginseng, and I'll tear up my dad's bonsai tree to fake it.
Yeah. Which like there were a lot of funny parts in this movie too. That bonsai tree being one. Yeah, I like how the dad's a doctor and he is a martial arts trainer, I think.
Yeah, he has a school.
Yeah.
Why they do the drunk fighting in the street? It'd be good promotion for school.
Yeah, exactly. Good. They were on top of their marketing game back then. Let me tell you. But so he's a doctor and they lose the ginseng. So what do? They to dig up the bonsai tree root and they actually give it to a guy. Like he'll be fine, and it almost fucking kills him. He's like, you poisoned my husband, but I'm not telling anyone because I know you didn't mean to. It's okay. Don't worry.
And then he's like, the best part is, he's like, I'll give you whatever he said. Like it'll help him heal. Like something water. I don't know. It was magic water.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Let's trust this guy who just
the first time.
Let's trust this doctor who almost fucking killed my husband. Let's totally believe him.
It's like some dude being like, lights you on fire. Is like, here's a fire hydrant and just. Or not fire hydrant, but a fire extinguisher, just throws the fire extinguisher at you instead of actually using it. Like, what do you do to light you on fire? You're probably not going to expect them to utilize a tool to help.
Yeah, so I totally forgot about that part. But and then the whole I'm gonna he does drunken boxing and, oh, I'm ashamed of you. Because I like how that's the plot point. Like, drunken boxing, because I looked into this. Drunken boxing in the movie, they say is bad because you drink too much, so you become an alcoholic. So let's just shame the fuck out of you. That wasn't actually
You can't
true.
control it.
Yeah, like alcoholism, right? You just start drinking, you can't stop it because everyone's going to be an alcoholic, I guess. But that
you don't know
isn't
the right amount.
Yeah, that isn't actually true. I guess a lot of people didn't do drunken boxing because they got hurt too much. Like if you're drunk and you get in a fight, you're gonna just fucking hurt yourself. That's actually what happened. That makes more sense to me because none of us have been drunk, right, and gotten in a fight and then accidentally hurt ourselves or anything like that. But then I guess from there it just doesn't really matter anymore. And then Jackie Chan at the end goes to the steel mill to fight the bad guys, I guess. Like I said, like the plot was kind of all over the place, but the action scenes were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my biggest takeaway from this movie.
It definitely had that feel of like if you were to grade it on something, you kind of can't grade it against like a movie scale. It's like you kind of have to grade it on like a Jackie Chan scale. Because it doesn't, like, nothing about it. There's random points where you're like, well, this would be horrible story writing, but it's hilarious. Like, I remember just being like in the first train scene when they're trying to like get into the dining hall, where did they get like 300 ducks from on a train to suddenly rush?
Yeah. Just throw them in the room and then they're carrying them and like throwing them at people. Yeah. No, that's a good point too. But I guess like what you said, grading against other Jackie Chan movies, do you think this is better than Rush Hour? Did you like this more than Rush Hour? Because that's like
entertaining.
That's the easy one to compare to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen Rush Hour in long enough that I can't remember, but I remember loving like Chris Tucker and everything. So I feel like I always hate watching movies with like dubbed scenes or dubbed like language. Like Marie and I started watching a show. This is a little off track, but I think it's called The Heist on Netflix, and it's like a Spanish movie or Spanish show. And at first, like, it was annoying because it was English dubbed instead of just English subtitles. Almost rather just have subtitles, but it was so like halfway decent in the beginning, and then just took a turn where it was like, this is getting horrible. And then like all of a sudden I got an ad. I don't even know why I'm going on this tangent now about The Heist, to bitch about how bad it got.
It's all right. You need to vent, Bo. Just vent about The Heist. It's okay.
Is that why you wanted to do this? You were just dropping the Heist about this awful show you got stuck watching?
Yeah, I'm dropping The Heist. It's just I just know from that show specifically, I think that watching dubbed movies really annoys me, and I think for that reason,
dubbed movies. Just subtitles. Yeah. I feel like the dubbed movies take you out of it. It's the same with, there's that one movie or show on Netflix called The Kingdom.
Is it The Heist?
No, it's not The Heist. It's called The Kingdom.
The Heist?
But it's like, it takes place in like feudal Japan about like the plague. But it's dubbed and it just takes you out of this movie. Yeah. I'd rather have subtitles.
No, like, I get what you're saying. Because, yeah, like subtitles don't bother me. Dubbed, it took me a while to get used to it. I guess I would notice it every once in a while when it was way off. You know what I mean? Like their lips stop moving, but you can still hear it. You know, like it throws you out every once in a while. I don't mind it. Out of the three, I guess, normal, quote unquote normal, subtitled and dubbed. Yeah, dubbed would be bottom of the list, but it did take me a little while to get used to it, though. I'll admit that.
Well, I will say the dub definitely fit in with the themes of this movie and the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah,
I was going to say one of the other things I noticed about the dubbing is it seemed like every character, whatever actor they hired, like, I think, like, viewed English as, like, from a different nation. It was, like, some sounded like they were trying to sound like they were from America, and then some sounded British, and then some were, like, it sounded like some of them were Hispanic. Like, it was whatever actors were doing the dubbed acting on it. It was such a wild card, like, of where they actually sounded like they were from. I just remember geeking out. I was like,
Yeah.
that literally sounded like it was 100% like a Brit. I think not the main bad guy, one of the three main bad guys, the one that in the steel mill, the foreman, like he sounded like he was straight British. And I was like, I guess maybe he could have been British because he was hanging out with the white guy, and like the white guy seemed British.
Yeah. We don't even know where he's from, but yeah.
Still don't know his name. But I don't know. For some reason, that's something I noticed too, which I guess you can't really blame him. It's not like you're going to have the same guy doing the same voice every time. But
no, I could see how it being dubbed could take you out of it a little bit. Because, I mean, if they don't match up, it's kind of awkward. I totally get that. What'd you guys think of the final fight scene, the one in the steel mill? So I had quick note on it. It's a 7-minute fight scene. Took 4 months to shoot.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's wild.
The part where Jackie gets thrown into the fire, I watched some stunt clips from it. He was actually in the fire and on fire for a lot of that fight scene.
Yeah, that's one of the other like notes on here is that he did that stunt twice, like falling into the coal or whatever it was. He said he didn't like the way he fell and moved the first time, so he wanted to do a second take, which is crazy, but at that point too, him and the director of this movie, like they didn't get along that much because the director wanted to do more like Hidden Wire, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type stunts, and Jackie didn't want to do that. So the director ended up kind of leaving, and Jackie was the director for that last fight scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so he did that stunt twice. I also, to note in that movie, I thought this was hilarious. Maybe you guys caught this. When Jackie gets pushed into the coals, the guy he's fighting, you can kind of see him like standing in the foreground. He like looks over to his partner and he gives him a big thumbs up, like when Jackie falls into the coals. I thought that was
not the guy
hilarious.
that pushes him, the other guy.
One of the two. I thought it was the guy that pushed him, but I could be wrong on that. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, I don't know if that's like in character where he's giving a thumbs up to his guy, like, yeah, I fucking killed him. I pushed him in the coal. He's done. Don't worry. Or if it's like the actor giving like a thumbs up to like some guy off screen with a fire hydrant or something. Either way, I thought that was just fucking hilarious.
Oh man, I'll have to watch that fight scene again.
You should see it. It's very like it ends up right in the middle of the camera almost. But I thought it was a pretty good fight scene. I don't know how I feel about Jackie just chugging down whatever alcohol that was.
Yeah, what was that?
Why?
You like how earlier in the movie they have it earlier in the movie like, oh, you need to stoke those flames more, and they pour it on, and that's the tie-in to later that it's gonna be alcohol.
It's like his lips turn blue. He starts burping bubbles. Like, this can't be good for you.
Oh, dude. I thought it would be like oil or gas or something, not freaking
just drinking diesel.
Right? Just chugging diesel to get that little drunk high, and then he gets perfect and he like spits and just on a fire and the fire just pops up a little bit. Man, I don't know. That was nuts. It was a great fight scene, but I'm just sitting here kind of laughing, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing because, I don't know about this. But.
By that time, I was just like, this is totally ridiculous. I'm laughing at everything because that's how it's meant to be.
No, you're probably right.
I'm not taking this movie seriously at all.
I mean, you probably shouldn't. I don't think you should take it too seriously, but.
Once they got to the house past the first fight scene, and it was the whole switcheroo stuff with the mom, the stepmom, and Chow, I was like, this movie is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it was very ridiculous. But yeah, no, I mean, overall, I did like this movie, and I enjoyed it. I just thought it was way more ridiculous than I remembered, but not in the way I thought it would be. Like, he was only drunk twice. One of which was funny. The other one was like a serious drunk fight. But then like the story and the rest of it was like where it was ridiculous, and I thought it was going to be better. But no, it was still pretty good though. I'm happy we were able to rewatch it.
Yeah, it was one of those. When I suggested it, I remember being like, "It's an amazing movie." Like, or the premise of it is like, the dude just drinks and that's the only way he can fight. And clearly that was like wrong, but that's what I remembered is like you could still.
I thought that was going to be the main plot point, like what the movie was based on.
Yeah, well, it's called Drunken Master, right? So you'd think every time he fights, he's going to be drunk, but no.
Not at all.
But
what the movie is on, it's like a subplot.
Yeah, it's barely there. But like, Bo, you're right. Like, I watched this as a kid too, and as soon as he said it, I'm like, yeah, he is. He's drunk all the fucking time in this movie. No, he's really not. But you know, as a kid, I'm sure when you see someone get drunk and fight, that's what you're gonna remember. But
well, luckily, I had the privilege of watching it with a semi-mature adult brain.
Oh yeah. This is us with our mature brains right now talking about this movie. We're different now. We're grown. We're matured. But yeah, which so did you guys want to do either like Rumble in the Bronx or the other one for next time if we want to do this again?
I have not watched.
I'm open to all things.
We could continue on the good, the bad, the garbage.
Yeah, I mean, and with that, I would call this movie good. It's not bad or garbage.
Oh no, this is definitely very entertaining.
Yeah, I literally remember I was like watching and I was like, I'm actually kind of annoyed that I'm entertained this much by this, like, and not in like the way that when we originally started talking about like The Room, like that's entertaining in a different way. Like this was actually like, but of course it's a Jackie Chan movie. As long as you put like 4 fights in it, you're gonna be entertained for like at least 25 minutes of the movie.
Oh, for sure. Well, they're about to throw him the alcohol in the fight.
The first fight.
Yeah.
I like how she just runs into that bar. It's like, put it on my tab.
It's literally what she just did. She just ran in and got it.
Gathering bottles and just chucking them at him.
I was dying.
Or you just caught it.
When the guy originally comes and steals the necklace, and like they're all like, oh, the necklace, and she's like I don't know I can't remember what she said, but she's like, you don't know how to handle this, and she like pulls up her pants and she's like, stop him, and she's like waddling back and forth like it's the most random thing. She's like peacocking across the floor, across the hallway, just screeching.
Also, I applaud how Jackie Chan just slams like 6 or 7 bottles, just guzzling.
What are the odds of that actually being alcohol?
and then within like, I mean, instantly he's drunk.
Oh, dude, he's
like,
so loose.
He drinks all that alcohol. I was gonna say, one of the things is like, I was gonna say
facial expressions.
It was kind of yeah. No, that's the thing. He was really good at like the moment that he drank alcohol, like you could tell he looked drunk during a fight scene too. Like his mind's gotta be so busy worrying about that fight scene, and you could tell, and like it's like his hair looked disheveled, which is probably more of a makeup thing, but it's like his face got like lazy and relaxed, you know, like any drunk person usually is.
So his stunts, like, what he does when he's doing these fight scenes was so incredible.
Well, I mean, like to like what you're saying, I get the idea behind drunken boxing. You just act like unusual and loose, and
they bring it up later in the thing.
Unexpected, like you do stuff you probably wouldn't normally.
Yeah, like do upgrades your pain tolerance. I remember him saying that. Like,
yeah, that's
a good increase in pain tolerance. It's like, yeah, it doesn't help if you can't stand up straight, but.
Well, what does that have to do with artifacts?
That's it. Well, that was the thing too. They opened up that box, and I literally didn't know that they were stealing artifacts until, like, they made it very apparent. Like they had to like hold her hand across the street and be like, "By the way, the last hour and 20 minutes of this movie was because they're stealing artifacts." By the way.
Yeah. Well, it's when he first opens the box on the train and he goes, "Oh shit, this is my ginseng." Like you can see I thought it was like an imperial stamp or something, and there's going to be some more high level shit going on, but no, it wasn't. I mean,
it's just like a trophy.
Yeah, like I don't know, whatever.
And the one guy was like, they even mentioned they're like, there's hundreds of these because Jackie, I think, asked that whatever his name was, the guy originally fought when he met him the second time. He's like, if there's so many of these, why is it so important? The guy's like, all of them are important. It's like, okay, but why are they important? Like, what?
Yeah, that's what. Just give me some crime boss. Give me a drug cartel, something easy that my big dumb brain can comprehend.
Oh, bad guy.
Like this guy's the bad guy because of drugs. That's all. That's what I need. And then just give me some fight scenes. I think that's what we'll get in the next couple if we want to watch them, though.
Yeah.
But no, did you guys want to do Rumble? Did you want to do a Jackie Chan one, or you want to do a different one?
We can do another Jackie Chan one.
I'm fine with that.
All right. Or we'll say 90s kids, by the way, for the Jackie Chan movies that we're going to do at least for a little while.
Yeah.
There are some people that probably don't even know these movies fucking exist that should go watch them because these are good. But people just start with Rush Hour with Jackie Chan and then forget about anything.
Well, that's because these were all made in China. They're not American made.
Not all of them. Like the next ones, Rumble in the Bronx and Jackie Chan's First Strike. Those are, I think they're U.S. made. That's why it's called First Strike. I think it was like his first U.S. film.
We should do those then next. I would definitely do those.
Yeah, we can do. We need to make a list of all these movies that we're listing off right now, though, because these are some winners.
Let's do the Rumble in the Bronx because that was 95, and then
we'll just go in order because this one was 94, Rumble in Bronx 95, and then the last one was 96.
The First Strike is 96.
Yeah. I do have a surprise. Yeah, I do have a surprise fourth Jackie Chan thing for you guys to watch. We'll get to that later, though.
How many movies has he made? He's got to have 100.
Probably, some good, some bad, like the Medallion. I always think of that movie for whatever reason.
Is that the one with Luke Wilson?
No, that's
Owen
Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Bo had it. Yeah,
Shanghai Noon was actually good. I haven't watched it in 20 years. Well, not 20, maybe like 15 years, but I remember liking it.
Remember the second one?
Shanghai Nights.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
Did you know that they are making a third one?
No. Is he still gonna be in it? He's 66 now.
Shanghai Dawn. Shanghai Dawn. Yeah.
Oh, Dawn. I thought you said Dong.
Dong. It's like, a porno. Jackie Chan is steering into the porno game a little bit.
Yeah, he reversed his. Actually, he started out his first. I saw this fact. I don't know if it's true, but his first thing he ever did. We don't fact check here. It's fine. Was a porn. So he started in the industry.
I don't know if I should take you serious or not.
I don't know either. Google it.
Take it. Yeah, Google Jackie Chan porno. You're fine. Just see what happens.
Safe search it.
Incognito. That means they can't catch you.
I'm just trying to count real quick how many movies he's done on Wikipedia that are listed.
On IMDb, they just give you the number. It says 142 credits as an actor.
Boom. Jackie Chan admits acting in a porn movie.
Really? Why don't you review that one, Quinn, and then
you can watch that, and we'll just set record on here, and you can talk about it by yourself.
I mean, if you see how good his Kung Fu is, imagine how good his other stuff is.
He probably does Donkey Punch pretty well.
Donkey Punch guy.
That seems more of like an American-made move.
Nope.
It's an old Chinese, like from the old Dynasty move. Don't worry.
Better the more drunk you are as well, though.
Yeah, it's a good mixture with drunken boxing.
Yeah.
So Rumble in the Bronx next? Is that the next one?
Yeah. But follow us on social media too. I try to post as much as possible on Twitter and Instagram at OscarReelPod on both of them. So yeah, until then, this has been The Good, the Bad, and the Garbage.